Good morning and welcome to Rising. We have a great show for you today. I'm Amber Duke, joined by Steven Olikara. Our first time hosting together.
Yes,
very exciting.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here, and we're even matching, so it's better.
I know, it's like we had some telekinesis or something.
Exactly.
Really love to see it. We're going to get right into the news. Big news day, obviously. The world's richest man, Elon Musk, has spent over $250 million to help President-elect Trump secure the presidency. This is according to federal findings. That makes him the biggest individual donor of the 2024 campaign.
And Musk's boldest move, the billionaire poured $20 million into a super PAC named after the late Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg. The organization sought to help Trump's image by softening his pro-life position. Musk also spent several million to cut checks to voters in swing states who signed a petition supporting the Constitution.
Since Trump's victory, Musk has become a frequent guest at Mar-a-Lago and is set to lead DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency, to eliminate government waste. The total spending that Musk has poured into helping Trump is currently unknown, but the staggering amounts that have been reported already have some in the political world wondering if Musk is trying to buy access to the president-elect.
Well, one Bloomberg business journalist pointing out on X, quote, Musk had only been a modest political donor until this year, but the giving has lofted him into Trump's inner orbit. He has seen his wealth surge since Trump won the election last month. Now, Trump in the past has made supportive comments about Musk, but cracks too about his permanent presence, one time saying, quote, Elon, what a job he does. He's great, he happens to be a really good guy. You know, he likes this place, I can't get him out of here. I should have done that with the Trump voice.
Yeah, he loves the place. I can't get him out. Incredible. Look, I mean, I will say this is obviously a broader story about money in politics and whether or not billionaires should be able to dump so much money into an election and then potentially get rewarded with either cabinet picks or, in this case, an external non-government agency that is supposed to be advising the White House. But I do think that the oversized focus on Musk does kind of ignore the fact that Kamala Harris also spent a lot of money and had a lot of money from billionaire donors. This is certainly not a Republican versus Democrat issue or anything specific to Elon Musk.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, I think there are two parts to this story. There is a genuine ideological alignment with Elon, and this has been chronicled in the Walter Isaacson book about Elon. That's really happened over the last 4 years. You know, Elon used to be basically a climate activist calling for carbon taxes and things like that. But there has been a shift. He calls it the woke mind virus, as chronicled in the biography about him. He had a trans kid, and he became very concerned during the time of COVID with some of the lockdowns and the censorship. That moved him towards not just Republicans, but the new Trump Republican Party. So there's some genuine ideological alignment there. But there's also a money story here as well. Does money, him spending $250 million, help him get into Mar-a-Lago on a consistent basis? Absolutely. And I think Trump very much appreciates that support. That's how our political system works right now. I think I'm a get money out of politics kind of guy. We do need to reform that system. But for now, Elon is hanging out with Trump.
Yeah, I mean, the way the system is currently, that's what it is. It's basically pay to play. I mean, whether it's Elon Musk spending $250 million through these supportive PACs of Trump, or whether it's, you know, Mark Zuckerberg in 2020 spending $400 million in get out the vote efforts that primarily benefited Democrats. This is a nonpartisan issue, I guess you could say, in a lot of ways. I do think, you know, Elon Musk, as you said, is very ideologically aligned with Trump. So I think sometimes the question becomes, is it the chicken or the egg? Is Elon Musk supporting Trump with all of this money because he wants to move him on certain issues? Or is it that Trump already supports the issues that Elon Musk really cares about? Just based on what we saw during the past couple of years and his purchase of X and some of the things that he was talking about on X, I think there was a natural sort of alignment there that happened before he started dumping the money in.
I heard a great line from a friend of mine 10 years ago. He said, you're the sum of the 5 closest people to you. And so Trump, no doubt, has Elon as one of those people. And I have no doubt that his ideas on government in this upcoming administration are absolutely shaped by Elon Musk, including DOGE and the Department of Government Efficiency and Elon's role with that. Now, going back to the money story, one thing that's particularly striking about this is the sheer volume and the compressed amount of time. Elon only really got involved visibly and financially in the Trump campaign after the assassination attempt in the summer. So to have that sheer amount of money in just a few months period of time is pretty unprecedented. And I also think, going back to the ideological piece of this, I think that Elon has some constructive things to share with the federal government. He certainly has a perspective on space technology. He has a perspective on AI. And I think his voice is going to be heard. Now, part of what we don't know as a public is the actual total amount that Elon has spent. We're reporting $250 million because that's what's publicly reported in the FEC filings. However, there are dark money groups, 501c4 groups, that are not required to disclose their donors. And so we know, actually, as a fact, that Elon has donated to those groups, and we just don't know how much. That is also a system that needs to be reformed.
What I found really interesting about Musk's involvement, too, is how much the Trump campaign was willing to outsource a significant amount of its ground game in some of the swing states like Wisconsin, Michigan, and Arizona to America PAC and affiliated entities, right? I mean, they were very much aligned with the Trump campaign's idea of turning out low and mid-propensity voters, and used Elon Musk's money to have employees out knocking doors for those efforts. And so it was a very bifurcated effort, and there were a lot of outside groups that were helping Trump, whereas maybe the Kamala campaign was more internal DNC oriented and sort of one large behemoth. So you kind of saw two different strategies from these camps. But one thing that I do always go back to when it comes to the money in politics question is that when we do see that Kamala Harris has outspent Trump pretty significantly, I think the total amount between her official campaign and then the PACs that were supporting her was close to $2 billion. Trump was about $1.5 billion with all of those various efforts. Obviously, you can't win just based on money, right? There has to be an underlying message that the American people resonate with.
Right.
And that was what we saw in this election, was that even though Kamala Harris significantly outspent Trump, there was something about what Trump was selling the American people that they really liked and latched onto, regardless of how much money Elon Musk or anybody else individually put in.
Now, I want to remind people that one of the original appeals of Trump going back to 2016 was a lot of supporters out here from would say that Trump is not beholden to anyone. He's self-financing his campaign. There is the famous moment on the debate stage where he called out Jeb Bush and all his super PAC donors.
Yeah.
And we got to get rid of these super PACs. Now, me at the time, certainly not a Trump fan, but I am a political reformer. I was like, yeah, more of that. Let's call out Jeb Bush and his super PAC donors. But unfortunately, the drain the swamp message of Trump, some of which I actually did support, did not actually get executed. The swamp only got swampier during Trump's 4 years in office, and now certainly he's surrounding himself with all kinds of big money donors. So I'd encourage him to listen to himself from his 2016 debates, because that actually is an appealing message.
And I'm really interested to see some of the crossover with support for Doge from Democrats like Bernie Sanders and Ro Khanna, who have expressed a willingness to actually work with Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy to cut down some of these wasteful government programs. I think that's going to be a part of this realignment that we're seeing with populist left and populist right coming together on this shared message of, yeah, actually we do waste a lot of taxpayer money, and we have programs that are not adequately serving the American people. And now that Republicans are in power, maybe we can actually work together to achieve some of these goals.
Right. We had Ro Khanna on the show yesterday, and we asked him a little bit about that. He had just put out his public statement saying he was going to work with Elon and Vivek on Doge. Well, later in the day, he posted again saying that not that X is real life, but over 24 million views on that tweet is his most engaged tweet since he's been in Congress. And basically his point is maybe there is a hunger for this kind of cooperation, especially among populist left and populist right, to get rid of wasteful spending, especially some of that corruption happening at the Defense Department and defense contractors who are getting big contracts and often not at the benefit of the American people. So often cooperation is not sexy, but apparently is in that case.
Yeah, I'd love to see it. We'll see if it continues for sure, and if more Democrats come to the table. We have a lot more to cover on Rising. We're going to be back right after this.